Hello my beautiful friends, and welcome back to our channel, and a big warm welcome to anybody who is new here. If you stick around long enough and keep an open mind, we're going to change your life in the most efficient and sustainable way that you can make a change in your life. And that is by changing the way that you think, the way that you perceive the world, and the way that you make decisions, the way that you perceive opportunities and risks, what's in your control and what's not in your control. So that more naturally, automatically, subconsciously, you can go about your day and your life and soak up the opportunities that align with you, your values, and don't get distracted by the shiny objects or be driven by those fear-based perceptions and decision making. This work as a coach for women who suffer from self-doubt, self-criticism, self-oppression, mainly as a result of this background perfectionism that we have. This coaching work absolutely lights up my life. I know that when you change one powerful woman, it has a domino effect across the rest of the world and across time. So the biggest, warmest welcome to you if you're just coming to our channel today. There's so much here for you to feel more empowered and to live more into yourself and who you're really meant to be in this lifetime. Bit of a off-the-cuff sentimental intro, but sometimes this work just gets me so excited and I feel so grateful. So my warmest welcomes. I hope you enjoy this video today and go on to watch many, many more. Today, I want to take a couple minutes to talk about the unexamined, forgotten, neglected win-win scenario, because I've noticed this coming up with my coaching clients, and I recognize these thought errors in myself too. Today, I'm going to bring these thought errors up into the front of your mind as well, so that you can re-examine your decisions and move towards more results and experiences that you love for your life. Here we go. Now, this video is for you today. If you are the kind of person who is ambitious, resourceful, not afraid of hard work, but you notice that you have some goals, some value-aligned goals sitting on the shelf or in the back of the garage getting dusty that you haven't started or you haven't fully committed yourself to. And this video is going to help you in prompting you to pull up some thought errors that drive that decision making to make the goal a not yet, even though it's something that is completely aligned with you, and that once you have achieved it or in the process of achieving it, it is gonna significantly improve your life. So let's have a look and see if this common problem, the unexamined win-win, is getting in your way. And what you can do with coaching or self-coaching, if you're very open-minded and you can remove your judgment, you can ask really high quality questions, then we can actually pull up and examine the current lose-win or lose-lose that you're seeing and create, craft, make a win-win that makes natural, sustained motivation for you to actually go ahead and get those goals. Let's go. So this pattern has come up for so many of my clients, and it's not particularly surprising because the coaching environment, the coaching container is very unique in that the client is challenged with questions that perhaps never come up in the rest of their life. Maybe at some odd points in the life where we decide to re-examine what we're doing and question our norms and our habits. But in coaching, you cannot escape these big questions. The typical scenario I'm referring to is this. In coaching, our conversation is often around looking forwards and looking at what we want to create in our lives, what goals we want to achieve, and what values we want to live by as we achieve those goals. We talk about the kind of person that we want to be and that we know that we are, the way that that person controls the things that are in their control, and the way that they handle things that aren't as well. Now, along the exact same lines, we often look back to our past, only to our immediate past. Generally in coaching, we look at perhaps the past week in our lives, and we look at how we showed up, because we need some kind of baseline of where we are now versus where we want to be, so we can actually bridge that gap in the most personalized, individual way. So we look back at who we actually are acting as right now, and we name up discrepancies. We name up behaviors that we took, perceptions that we made, the decisions that we committed to, so that we can move closer towards this future person. So it's always an amazing conversation. We are talking about what we want to create in the world and how we're going to take responsibility and control of that. And what I find with my amazing, ambitious, successful, totally capable, resourceful clients is they have all of these goals that they're quite committed to, that are aligned with who they are and what they want, but they're not moving towards them. And there's lots of different reasons for this. But what I want to bring to your attention today is this misconception, a thought error that often comes with this, with these goals that we haven't started moving towards yet or haven't achieved yet, which is the idea that the win-win scenario isn't available. Now, I'm just going to use an example of weight loss because all of us can probably resonate. We've all heard the messages about the do's and the don'ts, the rules of dieting, how you get your ideal body, whatever we think that is. But also sometimes people choose weight loss because it is aligned with their ideal self and it makes them feel differently and act differently and so on. And you know, that's okay. Whatever your goals are your goals, as long as you like your reasons. So let's come together for a minute on the goal of weight loss and we'll demonstrate the example of the neglected, unexamined, forgotten best case scenario. So if you're somebody who has a weight loss goal and either you haven't yet achieved it, not for a lack of trying, or you haven't yet started it, this forgotten, unexamined, neglected win-win solution might be a thought error that's getting in your way here. So when we have these big, amazing discussions about all of these goals and wants and desires of these amazing, resourceful, ambitious human, what I find is these goals are often put on the shelf, put in the garage, pushed away in the corner getting dusty because there's a thought error that the cost of achieving the goal is fixed and it's too high. And at this point in time, it outweighs the benefit in that person's lives. Now, naturally, if that's the perception that the cost is higher than the benefit, of course, you are not going to go ahead and pursue that goal. Now, some people use grit and willpower and force, and even though they actually believe that the cost is too high compared to the actual benefit, they will push through. For the first couple of weeks, they would just use sheer determination, commitment to try and push through and achieve that goal. Meanwhile, in the back of their mind, the cost is not worth the benefit. Naturally, logically, reasonably, you're going to run out of motivation pretty quickly there. So you can see this really handicaps us in terms of actually being able to achieve this goal, this desire in our life. If the cost is more than the benefit, you're not going to have motivation to do it. You're not going to have commitment, determination, or an actual desire in the day-to-day moment to pursue that goal. You're not going to start it, or you're not going to be able to sustain the work that it requires. So the thought error comes in here to make this scenario look like a win-lose instead of a win-win scenario. And that kills our motivation, determination, commitment, of course. Logically, benefit, cost. The thought error in the example of weight loss here might be that the benefit over here is losing weight. Full stop, period. That's all you've thought about. I want to lose weight so that I look good at the beach. And that's the entirety of thought that you've given to the benefit in this scenario. Now, on the cost side over here, you've decided that to lose weight, to be able to look good on the beach, you need to give up all of your favorite food, any food that has any sugar in it. You need to give up wine, alcohol. You need to eat 50% of your caloric intake for the day. And you know, even if you didn't have an extravagant list like that of food changes, even if you just have one or two things that bring you, you know, a lot of joy and comfort in your life right now, and you decide, for example, you have to give up wine. That's the cost of looking good at the beach. You might find that this is still your cost benefit scenario. The cost is much higher than the benefit here. This is a win-lose scenario. Now, what we find in coaching is instead the win-win scenario. I would never, ever dare sending my clients off to use pure grit, willpower, determination to achieve a goal that requires long-term changes. That would be me setting my client up to fail, because it's not how behavioral psychology works. It's not how human motivation works. It's not how sustained human transformation, changes in our mind, works. So I want to bring this to your attention because lots of us have just decided that now is not the time to pursue this thing that we want. And we've decided that because we have not examined the reasons why we think the cost is too high. And also looking at why the benefit is not that high either. I'm willing to bet that looking good at the beach is not the full picture of why you want to lose weight. I'm willing to bet there are some more meaningful intentions behind that. Perhaps you think you want to look good at the beach because you want to feel included or accepted in society, or you think that that is what is required to be able to meet your partner and have love in your life. Losing weight might be a total red herring for what you actually want. And perhaps if you recognize what you actually wanted by actually asking yourself great questions, not only would you have a great deal of motivation, focusing on the thing that actually matters to you. But also you'd be able to skip all the steps in the middle that were actually unnecessary and irrelevant. Losing weight, to be able to find love, feel like you belong, feel like you're accepted. So my beautiful friends, if you don't feel like you have the motivation to achieve these goals that are aligned with your values and you actually want them, I want you to take a minute to examine the cost-benefit scenario that you're creating in your mind, what you think it takes, what you think it costs to get the benefit. Because until you have a win-win scenario where you don't feel like the cost is higher than the benefit, you're not going to feel motivation in any sustained way, and you're not going to achieve your goals. Come along coaching with me and we will sort you right out. I would love to help you achieve everything you want in this life. Okay, my beautiful friends, see you in my next one.